All right, welcome back to the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus. We're going to give me a nickname for this podcast so I can quit saying I'm your host, Marcus. Anyway, we got my brother, AB, over here. Say what up, AB.
What up, what up?
And we got my other brother, our favorite hater from the Golden State, Hot Take Jay. What's happening, baby?
Ready to get it.
Man, what's that, a NASA hat?
Hey, man, hold on. I don't like, you had way more energy introducing Hot Take Jay.
Because I got a...
He ain't worth all that energy.
Hey, man.
Come on, man.
Two brothers and a
I
guy.
want the same kind of love. When you say me, AB, the truth, you know.
I ain't calling you the truth, dude. I just ain't gonna do it.
I'm the truth.
AB is
I'm a grown-ass man.
AB is what you get. I ain't gonna call another dude the truth. I just ain't gonna do it.
Whatever. Well, I'm gonna need you to take some of that motivation out when you introduce Jay.
Well, we can do that. I'll give less, not more. I'm not calling you the truth. All right, we got our other brother, our favorite hater from the Golden State.
Yeah.
Hot Take Jay. What's happening, baby? I'm trying to find my rhythm right here. Y'all got to work with it. Anyway, let's get into it, man. We talking about the Dallas Mavericks. One of the biggest disappointments. I thought it was going to be the Rockets after James Harden,
8-12
but the
Dallas Mavericks.
The 8-12 Dallas Mavericks. Where are they? Are they dead last in the West right now, or where are they?
They floating near the bottom.
No, Minnesota is the boo-boo on the bottom, and then the Pelicans. Yeah, the Pelicans right there too.
Oh yeah, the Pelicans is kind of disappointing too.
Yep.
They
kind of.
But let's get with on the Dallas Mavericks, because there's a lot to say about the Pelicans, and I think Zion is giving them his all, but.
He's hooping actually.
Yeah, he
and Brandon Ingram has kind of toned down, but he's still like, solid, vital, foundational piece.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the text message that I sent? Aaron, what did you think about that?
I see where you're going, but I don't agree.
First off, they made a gamble that needs to be revisited where we talk about that, because they went from being one of the most highly rated offensives of all time with Seth Curry. Maybe. Yeah.
Wait, did
Seth
you say,
Curry was
who is Seth Curry? That's a joke. Stop looking at me crazy. I know who Seth Curry is. It's a joke because Steph Curry is so popular. He takes some shine away from Seth Curry.
Well,
Seth just had COVID. He's gonna be back and banging out 45% three.
It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about his big brother being so famous and popular right now that it pretty much take the shine off of him. But anyway, go ahead, Jay. My bad.
Well, no. So they tried to trade some offense for defense, but you couple in Porzingis trying to find his way. Luka has not stepped up from an efficiency standpoint, which was the only area he really needed to take a leap forward. And then, Josh Richardson has been playing subpar, at least when you put in what Seth Curry's value to the team was. So they basically traded offense for defense and took about 3 steps back. So they're trying to find their way, but
it's a case study for how valuable is the threat of the 3-point. Mm-hmm. Because Seth, whether he hitting them or not, Seth 45%. Curry has a higher career 3-point percent average than his brother. And nobody is going to leave a Curry open. I don't care if their daddy came out there and played right now. They will not disregard the Curry. You got to guard him. I think people are overreacting, man. I said this before when I said that COVID was going to have a big impact on this season, and people are going to be in spots in the seedings that it's not indicative of how good the team is or will be. So this team just came out of having Josh Richardson was out almost the whole month of January with COVID. Tim Hardaway, not like all their rotation guys, right? Minus like Luka have been out with COVID. Kleber, all these guys have been out, and then you couple that with Kristaps Porzingis just now coming back from injury and not being himself, and then you get what you get.
So Jason sent us all the texts with a possible trade scenario, and in his trade scenario, we know that New Orleans is looking to shop J.J. Redick, Lonzo Ball, and you threw in here for this to work Jackson Hayes for Kristaps Porzingis. Wow. So who do you think would come out on top in that if that was to happen?
Porzingis is the best player. Don't get it twisted. But you're at an inflection point with Kristaps Porzingis. His value will never be higher than it is right now.
It might be lower than that. It might be his lowest point right now. I would argue that if you sold Kristaps Porzingis right now, you're selling low, and which is a mistake.
Yeah, but I'm arguing that he's proven to be injury prone to the point where
so it wouldn't be a mistake.
You fast forward 2 years and we get more nagging injuries, maybe not season enders, but how many times do we got to miss you in the playoffs before we that luster of potential is gone, and it's just the reality of maybe the one Chris Paul year where you're healthy as hell, but you're on the wrong team.
Okay, so what is Kristaps Porzingis' nickname and what they call him? This dude.
The unicorn. Yeah, no.
And the reason why is because you can't find what he does anywhere. This dude is 7'3".
You're
banging
right.
out threes.
It don't matter if he ain't healthy though.
Yeah.
Well, no. So this is where I think that the Dallas Mavericks are not at the timeline. No matter how good Luka is already, they're not. They're kind of like Boston. These guys are young. They're 22, 23 years old. Luka's 21 or 22.
He's 21.
Don't rush the timetable. What their timetable is for building this team is they have to find that secondary piece to Luka before you have to pay him that max contract. So they got 2 years to do it. They're going to have a boatload of I think they got max salary available this summer to spend. And whether it's be a trade, sign and trade, or just all-out free agency, they need to find the number 2 who might actually be a number 3 to Luka. And I think they need to double down on Porzingis and not trade Porzingis. Porzingis might not be trustworthy, but it's kind of like Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn, where it's like, man, he ain't the guy that's going to carry you there. You might not be able to rely on him, but if he's there, he might put you over the top.
He gives you something like Joel Embiid and Jokic, and he gives you that counter. And I'm with you. And the trade that I proposed was not necessarily a given that I would do it if I was Dallas, but I'm saying, are we at an inflection point where it's time to consider it? Yeah. And what I also, you can't include in the trade machine, the ESPN trade machine, is you can't include those Lakers picks or that Milwaukee pick. So New Orleans is in a precarious position where they need to find something that complements the rest of their roster. I don't necessarily condone trading Lonzo, but they've already shown that they are not interested in the long term. So I'm already JJ Redick, Lonzo Ball already gone. The fact that this guy tripled down on Steven Adams is beyond me, and it's the reason I think he's dramatically overrated. But Jackson Hayes is a Clint Capella wannabe. So you got Steven Adams.
But I like him though.
I like him too. So, and he fits. I just outlined the mold for Clint Capella. What I'm getting at here, though, is they need their piece next to Zion, and that piece needs to have length that he don't have, and it needs to be 3-point shooting, because all Steven Adams and Jackson Hayes are going to do is crowd his operating space. So I guarantee there's a price for Kristaps Porzingis, and I guarantee New Orleans has that money in the bank account. I don't know if they should triple down, but I'm telling you, the Mavs are at a risk by holding on to Porzingis and not cashing in, because if they gutted New Orleans, and then on top of that salary cap space that you're talking, they could be sitting real pretty.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't disagree with you as hard as I thought I did, right, when you said it. But as long as I mean, that's the other part that you can't. If you're just looking at trade for trade, you know, you're just looking at those players. You're like, man, you're not gonna get the upside.
You're not. But they got Maxi Kleber. They got Dwight Powell. They got Will Cauley-Stein.
Yeah, none of those guys excite me at all.
They don't excite you.
Kleber
is a nice 3-and-D guy.
Kleber's
so
good.
If you slid him in, I mean, it's not Porzingis, but it's not like, dude, I'm telling you, let's say they get 2 of those picks, whether it's Milwaukee or the Lakers, right? They're not great, but you get a couple of picks, maybe 2, maybe 3, because they're all late first rounders. Then you get Lonzo. Then you get JJ Redick to replace Seth Curry and give you action this year before you tell him to walk. I think Lonzo will still be that secondary person. And it's like, again, a bird in the hand or 2 in the bush. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not as far away from you as you're saying because of the draft compensation could change the whole thing, right? But I think, again, trading Kristaps Porzingis right now, I don't think people, because of the questions, you're not going to get it. It's like we trade for John Wall, and he looked great for us, but Washington had to give up a pick to get, to trade him because of the injury concern. And you might be better off saying, man, get healthy. However long we need you to wait.
Yep. Just
get your body healthy because what you bring and the ceiling that you bring cannot be matched.
Hey, here's where I'm at. I've ring the bell on Kristaps Porzingis loud enough to where if we get 18 months down the road and Kristaps' names comes up, we're going to reference this segment and be like, that dude, Hot Take Jay, was spewing them hot takes. He was right again.
So you pronouncing that is over for Kristaps?
No, I'm saying it needs a hard look.
Is he Yao Ming?
And if they can get the right value.
I was just gonna say he ain't no Yao Ming. He's not a Yao Ming, and that's why
his talent is close, but the production, no.
Yeah, he's better. He's better than Yao Ming.
Ever since I've known Kristaps Porzingis, ever since he played for the Knicks, he's been hurt, like injury prone.
Half of his career.
Yao Ming was so dominant that I would be more willing to hold on to a player like him in injury than I would a Kristaps Porzingis.
No, Yao Ming wasn't dominant after the injury started.
No, but I'm saying,
it was over for y'all.
But I'm saying, he just, to me, I think Yao Ming held on more value because when he was on the court, he was like major productive. He was actually getting better toward the end when he got hurt.
Averaging last year?
I don't know what Kristaps is. I don't know what Kristaps is averaging because Kristaps is hardly ever on a doggone court.
Again, okay, so Joel Embiid missed his first 2 years of his career.
Mm-hmm.
2 years straight, couldn't get on the court. You know what I'm saying? And we could have just been like, hey, it's over for him. Foot injuries, big man, foot injuries. Can't even play. He can't make it through preseason. Can't play back-to-backs. Now look at Joel Embiid. And so I think that it's going to take.
When Kristaps was out with those injuries, like how long was he out? He had enough time to be done. And just
he
get
was out.
Together.
He was
out for a while, but he still keep getting hurt.
Well, when he was out on the Knicks, I think that might have been some elective surgery. It's the Knicks. They weren't going nowhere. Why am I going to put?
But even still, he still had the time off. Is what I'm trying to say.
But again.
Enough time, I think, to where he should be like showing me something.
John Wall is a case study. John Wall had 2 years off, right? Mm-hmm. And he said that they almost had to talk about losing his foot.
You know what Aaron's saying, though, is that Kristaps Porzingis, on paper, on talent, and you look at him in flashes, has, I think his skill set is more reliable than Anthony Davis. I like him as a player, but the problem is injuries psychologically. Like, I don't want to be blasphemous. He's not as versatile as AD with the ball in his hands. But what I'm getting at is there is a group of 5 to 10 players in the NBA where their raw talent and skill set could be top in the NBA if they maximized it.
It's irreplaceable.
And health and all that other stuff. And he is in that top 10 of players who have the sky's the limit.
That was Yao Ming, right, when he was with the Rockets, when he was in his prime, before the injury started, right? where if Yao Ming got a chance to go one-on-one with anybody in the league, they couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
Not if, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to double him. You had to give a certain amount of attention, because if it's just a one-on-one matchup, I don't care what center it is, he can shoot too well, he's too big, too strong. You just can't stop him. Kristaps Porzingis is that he's 7'3". Marcus is 7'3".
I understand that.
And he's led the league. He's dominated the league in blocks, and like, so when he's the ultimate 3-and-D. The problem is we are so far removed. There's a point where somebody's like, you know what? I can't afford to hold it. No, you're right. He's only 25. But you know what? After they spend that free agent money, their ultimate flexibility is gone. And I'm like, so if JJ Redick can offset the loss of Seth Curry, and you're telling me the risk of injury on Kristaps
shouldn't even factor into this discussion.
No, he should, because they're missing. He's only got 1 or 2 years left of viability, but he replaces Seth Curry, and even though that's short-term immediate returns, it's really, again, going back to my love for Lonzo, Jackson Hayes, and if you can get a couple picks, I'm taking that over the risk adversity associated with Kristaps' injury history.
My question is, okay, I understand that Kristaps is very talented. I know that, but Luka Doncic need help now.
Yeah,
No,
well, he's 21, Marcus.
21 years old.
But my thing is, Kristaps been having these injury issues that keeps him off the court a lot of the year, each year when he's playing. How long will you stick with that while you have Luka doing what Luka does?
It's a risk factor.
And you don't know what he's going to be able to give you over each year.
But it's a risk factor. When we had Chris Paul, he was missing 25 games a year, and he went down the playoffs, and we were on the cusp. If he don't tear his hamstring, maybe we win. You know what I'm saying?
But
you can't, when you have a chance to win a title. Kristaps Porzingis, if healthy, with Luka playing at the top of his game.
So here's the part, Aaron. You're right. I'm not discounting that. And Luka at 21 is so not the reason to do this. Porzingis is 25. Luka is like 21. So you're operating under the impression that they got 10 years of runway. I'm telling you.
Give you 3. Give me Kristaps Porzingis for the rest of his contract, right? If he can't get healthy.
Okay.
And his contract.
And here's the thing. I remember this James Harden conversation 2-3 years ago when I said, give Chris Paul that money, and you are sealing your fate to this future. And
that's the point I'm trying to make.
The ability to pivot is gone. Now, here's what I'm saying. Kristaps Porzingis, you have 2 years to spend that free agent money. And if Kristaps is a part of your 10-year future, that dictates how you spend that money. And yes, it does.
No, that's not what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm not saying look at Kristaps as a part of your 10-year future. I'm saying you have 2 years to spend his money. You go out and you get the best second piece that you can put. If somehow you can get Bradley Beal, I would give up everything if I was a Mavericks to go get Bradley Beal, right? And then you have Luka and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is just it could be any other player, right? You go get a number 2, and to where Kristaps is a number 3, and he's the ultimate luxury. And you can only do that while Luka is on his rookie deal, right? But there's no scenario that you can convince me of that gives you a better chance of winning a championship by trading Porzingis than one where you brought in another max guy.
Okay.
And now you
Let me paint it with minimal draft compensation. Let me paint this picture for you, bro. Because what you're talking about is if that luster is off of Porzingis in 18 months because of injuries, and people 7'3", that
I don't
big.
care about his luster.
No. You can not care about his luster, but his luster has a direct correlation to his trade value. And people at 7'3" and above have had some crazy injuries that just never get right after a certain period. So we can talk about all that, but if Luka doesn't live up to what you describe him as with the unicorn, and I agree, but if he doesn't live up to that, the opportunity cost of, and I'm just going to say my package, Lonzo Ball, Jackson Hayes, expiring JJ Redick, so not just one max guy, 2 max guys, some mediocre 2 to 3 late first round picks, and get 2 free agents? Come on, man.
You're not getting that because if you're trading for Lonzo Ball, you're probably paying Lonzo Ball. You're probably gonna end up paying,
so even if Lonzo gets re-upped for $20 million a year, Porzingis is making 30.
We're gonna disagree. Hey, we're gonna disagree on this one.
I'm not saying it's a slam dunk that I would do it. It definitely warrants a conversation.
It's skill sets, skill matters, and when Kristaps is put into a lesser role and less relied upon him.
And you're assuming that they're going that
you need a team around.
You're assuming that they're just going to get this third guy and he's just going to fall in their lap.
Well, I'm saying that if you can get it, and the worst case scenario is in 2 or 3 years, if Kristaps don't stay healthy, then you let Kristaps walk, and you got Luka in the prime of his career ready to pair up for max contracts with somebody else. Is it worth
waiting that and just letting Luka walk then, or try to get something while you can get something for him?
No, you're not letting Luka walk.
Not Luka. I meant Kristaps.
It's worth it. There's times when we let Dwight Howard walk, right?
Man, Dwight Howard, that's another dude that was real injury.
No, but listen to my reasoning though, right? Dwight Howard, you know what I'm saying, when we let him walk, was still considered a top 25, 30 player in the league. We didn't max him. We got no compensation. We let him walk, and 2 years later, we had the most winningest, most success that we had in 30 years, and we just let him walk. We got nothing from him. I'm saying that Luka, because of his age, if Luka was older, it'd be a different scenario. But because
you got that because you got that though because you had Daryl Morey that knew how to work that situation.
You think Donnie Nelson is a bad GM?
What?
Donnie Nelson ain't a bad GM, and Mark Cuban is one of the better owners.
No, but you just got done saying you let Dwight Howard walk and you got nothing, and then the Rockets were good without Dwight Howard. But that ain't no guarantee all the time.
The Mavericks have been. I just
saw. I would rather get something for him than not get something for him and just let him walk.
I just saw
regardless of what you say.
It said the 3 Texas teams are the 3 most winningest franchises of the last 20 years. The 3 of them, the Rockets, the Mavericks, and the Spurs. The Mavericks know what they're doing. So let's not sit here and act like they don't know what they're doing. They got an owner that's willing to pay, that people love to play for. It's a destination city, and you got one of the top 3 stars in the league moving forward for the next decade.
You know what it is? There's a theme here, Aaron, and you are riding. You're riding with blind optimism, and it's funny because you shoot slugs, and whenever I spew this with the Warriors, but with you, I saw you do this with Houston and Chris Paul specifically, and all the moves that were made, and you're defending the Mavericks in the same way, where it's like all of this is under the pretense that Porzingis is gonna show up,
who hadn't
in the playoffs, who hasn't done it yet, is going to pay dividends. And I'm not. Maybe this ain't a hot take. This is a lukewarm take, but I think it's time to look at him, because even though I respect how high his ceiling truly is, I'm starting to question what's the reality of him getting there.
So far, that hadn't mattered for them. It hadn't like panned out for him, and you got Kristaps right now.
I question it too. It wasn't supposed to.
Aaron, just take this L and let's move.
Listen. Last year was Luka's first year in the playoffs, and it was Kristaps' first year in the playoffs. They weren't supposed to win. Y'all are trying to speed this process up. Y'all are trying to speed this process up, and it doesn't need to be.
We would like for Kristaps to stay healthy.
I'm not trying to speed up nothing. I think that it's very crucial for you when you have young players that you consolidate your stuff and you get the 2, maybe 3 best players that you can, which kind of goes against trading Porzingis.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But Porzingis had an injury-laden history in New York. Then they traded for him, and he was out. He finished the roster the year before last on IR. Then he came back and started 2 to 3 games in the playoffs against the Clippers, and then got smoked. Or then he got hurt again, and then he comes in this year, started the season hurt. Like, there's just this consistency.
I mean, the season was 2 months removed.
He's frail, bruh. He's 7.
Okay, so let's play out your trade scenario. And I know that's just one thing.
That's one.
Be all that. But play out your trade scenario and tell me how that puts them closer to a championship. For trading for role players.
Not having Kristaps playing don't put you close to a championship either.
Give me safe bets.
Got a better chance.
Give me safe. When I say Porzingis, I'm saying cap space, draft compensation, and players like Miles Turner or Lonzo Ball, and clearing enough space to spend $50 million for 2 guys is $50 million a year on 2 guys. Like, give me enough space to do that, and some draft compensation, and 2 or 3 safe bets like a Miles Turner or Lonzo Ball type of players that I love. Give me some of those that fit.
You ain't going to have that money to spend after you pay Lonzo Ball and these other players that you bring in. Whatever players you trade for are going to make money. So you're not going to have those max slots you're talking about.
Man, they got James Johnson. Salary. They got Josh Richardson. They got Dwight Powell. They got all this crap that can get cut. If you're really talking about getting that third guy that you're talking about, they got dead weight.
Kristaps Porzingis right now Kristaps Porzingis for the 2021 season.
He just came back.
Is averaging 18.6 points. 8
You're making
rebounds.
me attack him, and I was just saying they're underachieving for a reason.
They're underachieving because their whole team was out with COVID.
I said that to say that you can find another player that can put them numbers up.
Now go look at what he averaged last year.
It doesn't matter what he averaging last year. If he's not healthy enough to do it this year, it's not mattering.
He's been back for how many games?
You can find another player in the NBA to come play with Luka that can give you 18 points.
How many games has he been back from?
I don't know, Aaron.
How fast are players supposed to be back?
All I'm looking at is how much money he getting paid and how little he's on the court.
I thought you didn't care about the money. You said you didn't care about money.
All right, Aaron, take this L. What's the next subject?
We only got a couple minutes left.
We don't disagree on that.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, Jay, we're going to revisit this conversation, bro.
We are. And you know what the thing is, though, is I wasn't all the way on the side to say that Porzingis needs to go yesterday. I'm just saying, is it time to start talking about it and entertaining offers?
I agree with that.
Aaron be taking it too far sometimes, man. You take it too far with Kristaps, like you take it too.
You know what it is? He don't like the names that I throw out. I have my fan favorite, right? Yeah. Miles Turner, Lonzo Ball, and he.
No, because
God forbid you be right.
Because I disagree. Before you ever sent that trade proposal, it's time to consider it. I will.
And if they can get JJ Redick without dealing anything big, then he's a good facsimile of Seth Curry.
You do have to consider it. So let me say, you do have to consider moving Kristaps, right?
For value. Anybody want to overpay for it? Come get it.
That's all we said. All we said. You need to consider.
But y'all sound like y'all ready to throw him out with the bathwater.
No, we said from the beginning, right, Jay, that you consider him. You said you liked him. You said you like him, but hey, I need to really.
Lonzo Ball, Jackson Hayes, and 2 late first-round picks is bathwater?
He took an L, Jay. He took an L.
That's bathwater, huh?
Man. Yeah, that's throwing him out with the bathwater.
You got 8 late first-round picks talking about how happy you are, but Kristaps can't get 2 with Lonzo Ball and Jackson Hayes, who was like a top 5 pick.
Man, you can sign Lonzo off for $12 million this year for free.
Okay.
So I don't have to trade Hey, Lonzo finna be available for 10 to 12.
What is a late first round pick? People buy them for $5 million. People buy late first round picks. What is a
Lonzo gonna be on that Patrick Beverly contract?
Okay.
All right. All right. AB.
We'll revisit.
AB the lie. That's what I'm gonna call you. You want to call the truth, I'm gonna call you the lie.
Hey,
we going bizarro world. I'm flipping this whole thing around.
And you know what the hard part about this too? Because I don't think that Kristaps Porzingis, because of the injury, is ever going to be the superstar that his potential could say that he would be, right? But we said this the other day.
We agree on that.
But we said this the other day when we was like, dude, you look up and you be like, man, this dude is way too good and way too valuable. And when you realize when someone gives up on him because they said, well, he can't be our franchise centerpiece no more, which is what his talent says he could be. And then when he's sitting there on a buyout, or when he's sitting there, whatever, someone giving up. John Wall right now making $40 million, and I ain't even thinking about how much money he's making. Why? Because he's not the end-all be-all of the Rockets. And look how good they look. And John Wall's dealt with the same injuries. Don't tell me about Kristaps Porzingis' injury. John Wall.
Kristaps got a different body type than John Wall, and big men have a lot harder time recovering from
that's all
like that because of their body type.
That is all true.
But his skill ain't going away, apples. But you weighing apples to oranges, Aaron. You can't say because John Wall got better and he's doing good that Kristaps is gonna do the same thing.
I don't think John Wall got better.
That's what you're doing.
I don't think John Wall got better. I'm
talking about as far as his health goes.
That's not what I'm saying. John Wall, Jay, before this season started, John Wall was the worst contract in basketball, was he not? $40-something million, $45 million. He's on the James Harden contract.
But here's the thing.
John Wall has never been that good.
He still could be. John Wall still could be the worst contract because the season ain't over yet.
But he won't be. You know why he won't be? Because he won't be the worst contract in basketball because he's playing in a team and winning and being a big part of the reason why they're winning. And I'm saying that Kristaps Porzingis quit worried about the contract because.
But what if John Wall get hurt again? Then he won't. Then he be the worst contract in basketball.
If he's out for the season and career ending, then it could be the worst contract in basketball.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they win and he not. But I'm saying the season is still going. We're not even close to the end of the season.
Okay, so the same way Kristaps Porzingis just came back from injury,
and he could get hurt and be the worst
season, but he ain't. But he ain't. So the same way you can say that the one about John Wall and we can't use it, you got to do the same thing.
All I'm saying is you consider it. You based off of their history, you would consider it. And I'm sure the Rockets was hesitant about John Wall too because of his history. But
I'll tell you what I would do right now.
Kristaps been hurt since he was in New York.
I'll tell you what I would do right now.
Kristaps and 2 picks for Bradley Beal.
There
you go.
Unprotected.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I probably would do that. But hey, listen, what I would do if I was a Rockets right now is Victor. I like Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo can go right now for Kristaps Porzingis in a heartbeat. Sign me up. Sign me up. Now that's a big 3.
AB the lie. Let's move.
You wouldn't do it? You wouldn't trade Victor Oladipo for Kristaps?
Let's move.
Of course I would go to the bank and trade $20 for a $20 bill. Okay, of course I would.
I would consider all of it. I'm not completely.
Would you trade John Wall for Kristaps Porzingis?
I'm not writing Kristaps Porzingis off, and I never have. All I'm saying was because of his injury, I wouldn't ride so hard with him like you trying to do. So yeah, you.
Hey man, we made hot takes over here. It sounds like I'm a real hot take.
No, you sound like you AB the lie.
Get your hot takes up, Jay.
Matter of fact, I'm putting that up under your nameplate on it. AB the lie.
I say it's time to start look at trade scenarios for Kristaps, and you say keeping him is a hot take.
Hot take.
Thank you for watching the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, if you want to check out a few more clips, make sure that you hit the bell notification so that you're alerted whenever we post a new video.